Has your taste in music been affected by skateboarding? Welcome back to Rad Rat Video. Today I am answering your questions on this series, Ask Rad Rat. If you have any questions, you can go to radratvideo.com and submit them, and you may see them in a future episode. Today's questions, the first is from Brian, who says, with the advances in digital camera and editing technology, why do most professional skateboarding video parts still look like they are filmed primarily with what seems to be phone cameras? At this point, shouldn't these filmers be using quality gear and playing with the depth of field and composition to get a more quality look? Yes and no, because the thing about filming skateboarding versus like a TV show is that you can only do it once. You know, you want the trick to be the focus, and if the skater you're filming lands it perfectly, and you're like, oh, sorry, the focus ring was slightly wrong because you were trying to do something cool. Well, that's a major problem. Maybe they can do the trick a second time, and maybe it won't be as good, and you will have ruined the shot because you were trying to do something too fancy. So, you know, when you see a really cool shot on a TV show or on screen somewhere, they practiced it. Every time you see a shot like that, there was a stand-in. There's someone with a light sensor that they hold next to the stand-in. They figure out like where the ring should be for the focus on the camera, so they can be over here out of focus and then pull it in, or they can focus on the person in the background and then pull it back into the person in the foreground. That stuff is all practiced, and you can't really do that for skateboarding. You could, but the tricks would have to be more simple because you'd have to be able to redo them, and that's a pretty big problem. One problem I've had, so I used to record not all the stuff, but when I would film trick tips, I would have 3 cameras. And one of them was this is a Sony RX100, which shoots really good pictures. Like if you want to take a picture, just a plain picture with it, it's good. If you want to record on it, it has some problems. First of all, it gets very hot, and it'll only record for, you know, who knows, depends. If it's directly in the sun, that type of thing, it might only record for 10 minutes. But I've also had shots where I get the trick, I take it back inside, and it's blown out. Like it's super bright. You know, I had it all set up, it looked perfect, and then the clouds moved, and it got too sunny, and suddenly the shot's too bright. You know, having to manually adjust all that stuff to get a really good shot, it's capable of it. The shots I have with that camera are always the worst because of that. Now I'm filming myself 99.9% of the time, but you know, having to have all that control is actually worse. It makes a lot more sense to have a GoPro. So this is the GoPro, I think mine is a 7. I think they're up to 12 now. This thing, I plop it down, I aim it, you know, if I'm, you know, close, if I'm a little further away, I can change, you know, the field of view, stuff like that. Hit the button, it's good to go. That's it. It's gonna look good. It might not look amazing, but it'll look good. It'll always adjust for everything. If the sun is right behind me, you can still see me. I'm not gonna be completely dark. I'm not gonna be completely blown out if I'm in the sun. It figures it all out, and it'll look pretty good. And it'll shoot in 120 frames per second. So if I want to do something in slow-mo, it'll still look cool. Doing all that stuff with more professional film gear is definitely possible, but you're talking about a team, you're talking about planning, you're talking about bringing in lights, you know, all that type of stuff, and that's just not, it doesn't make sense. What the most important thing is when you're seeing skateboarding is good skateboarding, not necessarily good camera work. The next question is from Soul, not my soul, although it might make sense that I would ask myself this. Hey Rad Rat, have you ever considered a different focus to your channel other than skateboarding topics? And if so, what would it be? As always, love the content, and you're my favorite skateboarding YouTuber. Well, thank you. So I actually do have a comic book channel. I haven't uploaded there in a while. The thing that I would like to do is I would read old stories from like the 60s, and I would like explain them to you because they're so crazy, and that is fun. Nobody subscribed to it, which was not the point. I wasn't expecting to make money or anything on it, but that's just kind of a fun thing to do. And if I had done that a while back and was able to build that, that could have been something pretty cool. I thought about like non-skating games, just doing that. I played one. There was a game, Kill It With Fire. It's a game where your house is full of spiders, and you can like shoot them, or you can like have a blowtorch, and you're killing all these spiders. And I was like, you know what? Let me try to play this on the channel, see what happens. And I started losing subscribers, and I deleted the video. So I can't do that, but it would be kind of fun to do that. But that would be a second channel, and then I'm doing twice the work. And how many channels are there where people just play games? You have to have some kind of niche, some kind of specialty. Let's see, I could review books, which would be kind of cool. The only problem with that is like, so I play games, I read books, and I read comics, at night. Those are my after work, before bed things. And I really get into one, and then I get out of it, and I get into another one, and like if I had a book channel and I had to talk about books all the time, that would really, it would just suck. Like I know people who are trying to like do this type of stuff, and they're going to do a TikTok about this thing, and they're trying to build community, and they're doing all this stuff. And like, you have to make a video all the time about this one thing. Well, now it's just a job, and that was something I tried to not get into. Like for this channel, I wanted to be able to play skateboarding games and have a reason why it would be considered work, at least in my brain, so that I could do it. But if I take something that I enjoy doing and try to make it a job, then it kind of spoils it. I also had a blog about collecting games. And I would talk about like, how do you know, like what's going to be worth it to do is, should you grade games, all that type of stuff. I had a blog about it. It was just something to do. That never really took off either. So, I have definitely considered doing other things, and I have tried to do other things, but, yeah, it's tough to make things that you enjoy a job. All right, let's get into the next question. This is from Nicholas, who says, hey man, I don't think this question has been asked before, but what kind of music are you into? How much have the songs featured in skate parks and video games affected your overall taste? Songs in THPS and specific parts in almost round 3, yeah right, the end, etc. have had a huge effect on me personally. Whoever was curating those soundtracks was a total music nerd, and I'm speaking as one myself. Always looking forward to new videos. Keep up the good work. So I do have that happen a lot, all the time. I was with my wife. She's in a band called Airborne Toxic Event. And I was like, okay, I don't know who these guys are, but she's super into them. She met the guy before through work. Anyway, so like we got these really good tickets. We got like these like right next to the stage, like next to it, not in front. Anyway. And it's like, yeah, this stuff is pretty cool. And then they played that one song, and I don't know where I heard it. It was in a skate game. It was in Mark Johnson part. I'm not sure exactly where it was, but I was like, wait a minute, I know that one. And suddenly I'm singing along to one of these songs, and I hadn't heard a single one of the rest of them. So I definitely get that. That happens all the time. So she's more into like good songs and things, and every now and then I'll know something she plays. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that was in 1997's Plan B, whatever. And that's always pretty fun. Me, I'm not super into, I don't listen to good music, which is, it's good in its own way. Not good as in, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to listen to this and I'm going to have feelings. I don't really enjoy doing that. If you were to get into my Spotify and just hit play, you would hear hip hop from the late 90s to about 2010. A ton of it. You would hear Young Jock, you'd hear Paul Wall, you'd hear, like that type of stuff. That type of rap, like that era of rap, that's 90% of what I will listen to, and the other 10% is like Cardi B twerk stuff, like not her, but like that as a genre, just to be honest with you. But so when me and my wife, we go to the city about an hour away fairly often. We have a drive back, and it's like, hey, that's a good amount of time to listen to an album. She was like, tell me your two, like a perfect CD, like what were the best ever CDs? And I said, I got two for you. These are both flawless. These are the best albums ever. First was Hybrid Theory, which is, I mean, honestly, extremely good. There's one song that's like a techno, like not techno, but like an electronica, whatever. You could cut that one. But the rest of it is very, very good. It's all about being sad, but they're bangers. And the other one was Get Rich or Die Trying, which, again, there's one song, 21 Questions, so you could probably cut that one. But aside from that, very solid. But again, also, they're all about killing people. So, like, you know, I don't listen to a lot of, like, truly good stuff. But that is the stuff that I enjoy. But my tastes have been shaped by skateboarding in the sense that I will recognize stuff when people who have taste play music. With that said, when I skate or if I'm going for a walk or something like that, I'm usually listening to a podcast. I don't usually listen to that kind of stuff. But that is it. If you have questions of your own, go to radratvideo.com and submit them from the form on the homepage, and I will see you next time. Thanks for hanging out.